So everyone's favorite commentary guy turned podcaster, Ethan Klein, has really been going on a big crusade against Twitch lately. He's kind of in tandem with the whole Twitch apocalypse with Dan Can't Stream, and it's become a very big thing on the internet. He's accusing the CEO, Dan Clancy, of anti-Semitism. He's arguing a lot with his former friend, Hassan Piker, and he's also having gay sex. Actually, no, that was me.
I beg your pardon?
But today I thought we would check in on Ethan Klein and see what he's up to, see what his mental state is like, and see what the effects of this war have been on him. Uh-oh. Ethan Klein made a new video.
Hello, everybody. It is Ethan Klein from the basement with a light and a good camera. That's right, I'm all set up here. And today I've got a special episode of Ethan Klein crashing out solo on his own, featuring none other than Dan Clancy, the CEO of Twitch, and the director of community marketing. She's the head of TwitchCon, Mary Kish. Now, these two people were conducting a Q&A, I believe, yesterday or the day before, where I think this is his first time coming online since all the...
Did his beard get pointy? I feel like his beard got pointy. So this is Ethan's personal channel. Ethan, to my knowledge, is still on the Hassan arc, which, to be clear, I don't like Hassan. So, I mean, to an extent based. But yeah, I don't know. My opinion recently, when I've just seen, Ethan's been on a little bit of redemption arc. It's been nice to see him have a few base takes. But I will say he's been posting a lot on his Instagram story about the Hassan stuff. And I understand it to an extent. I understand he feels he's fighting for an important issue, which is fighting against anti-Semitism on Twitch. But he's been posting a lot on his Instagram story, and I feel like he's been talking about this a lot as well on YouTube, to an extent that it might be a little much. Even though I kind of agree with him, I think to the outside audience, I feel like he's coming off as crazy, which is why he said, another episode of Ethan Klein crashing out, right? That's why he said that, because he looks nuts,
The anti-Semitism broke.
That's people care about things do. Yeah, but what I'm saying is optically, people are looking at this and being like, oh, he's going nuts, Even people who otherwise I think would be predisposed to not like Hassan, I feel like they're kind of looking at Ethan and being like, is he all right? I was talking with Gokunaru about this the other night, and it was kind of like, is Ethan okay? He's because I think he was right. I think he is right. I do basically agree with the points against Twitch. I don't like Twitch, I feel like they are being dumb. I feel like Dan Clancy is probably a pretty bad CEO, but he's talking a lot about it constantly.
It's been about 40 days or something. So he comes on here and he's going to be doing some Q&As, answering questions from the community. Come here, Ducky's here, by the way. Ducky does not tolerate anti-Semitism of any kind. And while they're taking questions, they get a few... here, let me just give you an idea of what goes on here.
And it's my first time with Dan hosting, so exciting. Oh, wow.
But during the course of this here... From chatters, let's take a look. Here it is. Now, these weren't even phrased rudely. These were phrased fairly respectfully. I mean, not very respectfully. And these people were permanently banned for it. This person was permanently banned. They says, why do you not ban streamers that show terror propaganda on your website? It's explicitly not allowed.
Do you think you could ever reach out and say that to him? You think it would be possible to reach out for an interview? I feel like YouTube would be funny as fuck. I don't know. The thing is with Ethan, I have seen a few episodes of the History podcast in the past, a little while, where I've been like, oh, those are all right, And Ethan has had some good takes in the past while, but I feel like part of the problem is I just don't know how he's gonna flip, in terms of how he feels about stuff in the future. Because for a while he was on an anti-edgy humor arc if you're making jokes about certain groups, you know what I mean? There was a period of time where if you were making jokes about, I don't know, certain minority groups or making edgy jokes about, whatever subject, he was very against that. But meanwhile, he was also making jokes about the NRA or Ben Shapiro or stuff like that, right? He was okay with that because it was edgy jokes towards a certain side. And to me, when you have that kind of hypocrisy, which I don't, he hasn't talked about it as much lately, but when you have that kind of hypocrisy at one point in time and that comes out of an era when prior you were edgy, sort of on the flip side, I don't know. I get weirded out about it, I just get weirded out. I don't hate Ethan, but I don't know. I'm not paranoid. I'm cautious about content creators that I ally my audience with, because I feel like if Ethan Klein's audience saw me, if they knew enough about me, they probably wouldn't like me, to be honest. I feel like that would be the case, I feel like they wouldn't, which is fine. But yeah, I don't know, maybe at some point in the future, let's say a collab did happen, right? I don't think it would. I feel like he's probably too big to fuck around with someone of my size, but let's say hypothetically that a collab did happen. And then he finds out about some edgy joke I made. Is that going to become a problem in the future, maybe? Do you remember when he crashed out at PewDiePie a little bit for saying the N-word on a live stream while also being kind of a massive hypocrite, you know what I mean? But Destiny's better. I mean, to be clear, Destiny's audience has never given me shit for any edgy joke I've ever made. Worst public restroom in a fast food restaurant? I don't know. But today I did go to Dunkin Donuts, and I was at Dunkin Donuts, and I wanted to get a bagel, okay? So I order the bagel. I drive around to the window. I pay, and they're like, all right, just wait out front for your bagel. I'm like, it's a toasted bagel. You can't just toast the bagel, put cream cheese on it, or put cream cheese in a bag and throw it to me. It takes 5 seconds, but I'm like, all right, whatever. So I go and wait. I'm sitting there for 5 minutes. They don't come out. 10 minutes, they don't come out. 15 minutes, they don't come out. I go inside the store. I go up to the counter. This woman is blatantly disinterested in whatever's going on. She's like, what can I do for you? And then she just leaves as I'm trying to answer, and then comes back finally like 2 minutes later, and I'm like, hey, I ordered like a bagel. I was just hoping to get it. I gotta go. And she was like, oh, they forgot? And I was like, just thinking like in my head, like, you took my order. And I'm like, yeah, I guess so. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. You can have a free donut. Wow. Thanks for the free donut. Thank you very much. Fuck you. All minimum wage workers deserve a lot of love because of that. But yeah, I don't know, I was just raging at that. But I did get the bagel in the end and a free donut. So it worked out. Yeah, I was literally raging though.
Another user asked, do you care to comment about the ADL and anti-Semitism on Twitch? That, by the way, completely fairly written, not judgmental, not loaded. They were permanently banned for asking that question. It's kind of what everybody's been talking about. So if we're gonna be doing a Q&A, you know, let's not ignore the elephant in the room here, people. You know what I mean? I have a friend who called me with an anecdote. This is a big creator, streamer, someone that I trust who has no reason to lie to me. They were a part of a event that got canceled, and he got a call from Dan Clancy, who says, I'm so sorry. We have to be super careful right now with brand friendliness. And the reason that we're doing this, and he apparently name dropped me, because people like Ethan Klein, who don't actually care about anti-Semitism, are cynically going after our platform. So there's Dan Clancy, who apparently thinks that I'm doing this, that I'm burned half my audience just for fun, and that I don't, and that I think he doesn't think it's actually a problem, which is ironic considering what we're going to talk about next. Now here is
he really lost half his audience? Is it that bad? I mean, I know that they had some falling out over the Hassan drama, obviously, but has he burned half his audience? Let's see here. It's hard for me to tell, because the thing is, a lot like these are recent stream VODs, so obviously they're gonna have less views than older stream VODs because people go back and watch these podcasts, right? I haven't been well. Is this the Hassan one? I don't remember. No, this is not the Hassan one. What are the comments like?
Yeah. So
I mean, the comments don't seem extremely negative or anything. Did he really burn half his audience? He commingled a large portion of his audience with Hassan, so some of them flipped. Yeah, for sure. But I don't think it was like half the audience. I mean, maybe I'm just being pedantic over the phrasing he used, but yeah, I don't think he really lost half his audience. He's definitely getting a lot of shit. I'll say that. I'll definitely say that. He dropped them from 3 mil. Wait, did they lose? Hold on. View stats. H3 podcast. Oh shit. Yeah, they did lose 30K subs in the last month. Well, is that like typical for them? 1 year. Let's see here. It looks like on average they lose a couple thousand to a couple tens of thousands of subscribers every month anyway. So I don't know if that's really it. Check the views pre and post Hassan. Well, the thing is for Hassan, it was like, do you mean pre the like breakup of the podcast, or do you mean pre like the Hassan drama versus now? Because once again, it's hard for me to really tell. H3 podcast, Twitch. Okay, 1 month ago. That is a crazy picture. Okay. Dan Clancy must resign. Oh, comments were turned off. Huh. Why did it turn the comments off? It's weird how edgy channels become lame in PC. I don't really care if a channel becomes more PC over time. I just don't like the grandstanding about it, you know? Like, I think if iDubbbz had just changed the content he made, but he never made some big statement about like, my old content was so racist and everybody watched it was fucking racist and I don't want to be edgy or bully rights come anymore. I feel like if he hadn't done that, he would have been fine. But I feel like the problem, honestly, is the apology tour. If he just changed his content over time, it would have been like, whatever, you know? Like, it makes sense as you get bigger and as times change. Like, if you want to keep making money on YouTube, which should be a priority for you if you're an adult, you would, you know, sanitize yourself a little bit. Like, that's a normal thing, you know, especially as, you know, YouTube gets more PC. I don't really care about people getting PC. I don't like the way that they handle it a lot of the time.
One of Twitch's largest Arabic streamers. He has 1.7 million followers. His name is Rakanu Live. Here's his channel. Now, unfortunately, he doesn't have VODs, so I can't show you. But I do have lots of stuff saved. He was actually recently faced a 2-week ban. During a stream, he was saying stuff like, fuck you, Jew, and I love Hitler. Which, again, I don't know if Dan considers that anti-Semitic. We might have to check with the ADL on that one. You know, Dan is, he's not.
They really say that? That's crazy. There is a whole, like, because back in the day when Ethan pissed off the commentary community, they all made videos about him. But now it looks like, because I've seen there's like all these videos talking about Ethan Klein from like Adam McIntyre and, I mean, Hassan saying he's crashing out on Ludwig. He's kind of managed to piss off a lot of different communities. I don't know how well he can mentally weather it, to be honest. I mean, I don't know him, I don't know Ethan, but to me, he doesn't seem as mentally resilient as others who go through this kind of shit, which in fairness, like, the average person probably couldn't handle this kind of stuff either, but he just looks, I don't know. I feel like lately he looks a little tired.
Quite sure where to put that. But he was banned for 2 weeks. Just before we get into that, show you a preview of what this guy's been talking about on social media.
Do you think Haley Welch is going to a jail? Probably not.
October, 4 days off after of October 7th, he said, my eyes are full. God burned the Jews. Sure, he means Zionists. He must mean just...
The thing is, like, I don't think at this point Twitch is going to change. To be honest, if what Dan was saying was true and they've already lost 70% of their advertisers, I don't think that continuing is really going to work. I don't think that continuing the apocalypse at this point is really going to bear a lot of fruit, Like, and I also, at the time I expressed my reservations about the apocalypse, and I like Dan. I consider myself buddies with Dan. Honestly, I do. I think he's a cool guy. But my reservation with the apocalypse is, it's like the most justified bad take to me. It's like, I see the reasoning behind it. I see why it's happening. And like, to an extent, it's like, yeah, true. Fuck Twitch. But like, I'm okay with seeing Twitch burn to the fucking ground. But the problem to me is like, now I see these posts on Reddit from like communists or leftists who are like, well, what about all the racist content I see on YouTube? What about Matt Walsh being transphobic on YouTube or something? So like, what you get is you get the flip where it's like, okay, well now the flame war is happening here. Let's see how the chuds like it. You know what I mean? And like, then you have a YouTube apocalypse, which would be fucking cancer. Someone can apologize for their old content, but if your new content sucks, you make that apology, then that's all people have. Yeah, that's definitely a part of it. Twitch should do better, but they won't. I mean, honestly, at first I thought they would, just based on the way that Dan made it seem like they lost so many advertisers. But at this point, I feel like they're probably not going to change. And I don't know how much more putting pressure on them is going to work, What
the ADL said about Twitch, permanently banned for that. Why do you not ban streamers that show terrorist propaganda on your website? It's explicitly allowed in TOS. Explicitly not allowed in TOS, but if you're big enough, you let them get away with it anyway, man. Permanently banned for that. Do you plan on addressing the anti-Semitism problem? 600-second timeout. They went easy on him. I can't wait for the Houthi update. That one I understand because that one's more provocative and loaded. But why are legitimate questions being banned? 600 seconds timeout there. And there you have it. So I would like to know why Dan Clancy on his official Twitch channel, Q&A, is banning permanently chatters who are asking him quite politely.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is an issue that, like, I think, anti-Semitism is bad. Genuine anti-Semitism is a bad thing. And I have empathy. I empathize with Ethan, and I empathize with Dan, and I get why they're doing what they're doing. But I don't know. I guess I'm just worried about the long-term consequences of this kind of stuff happening online. I feel like the temperature of the internet is increasing recently. I don't know if you guys feel that, but I feel like things are heating up online. I feel like the room temp is going up a little bit, and I feel like the other side eventually is gonna get mad. And I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if in a year or two we get more Wall Street Journal articles about how YouTube is racist. It wouldn't shock me. Maybe I'm wrong. I honestly do hope I'm wrong because I don't want that to happen. But it wouldn't be super shocking to me. YouTube was forever changed the apocalypse for the worst. Yeah, I mean, ultimately it was going to happen is the thing. Like, if it wasn't the journalists, it would have been some YouTuber, like, doing it like Matt's What It Is, who did it a few years later, with the whole, YouTube Wake Up or whatever. It would have happened regardless. It's a function of, YouTube getting bigger and bigger, and any company that relies on, any platform that relies on advertiser money is going to have problems eventually with trying to make those advertisers happy. That is going to happen. You're going to get, and with anything that gets bigger, the edginess is going to get quashed a little bit just as a function of it getting more eyes on it and having to appeal to more people. And if you want to make money, you need to please fucking Coca-Cola and stuff like that. But, YouTube could not have gotten as big as it is now if not for the apocalypse, to be honest. Unironically, that is true. It just wouldn't have happened. At the same time, still kind of hate the people involved. That's insane for a Twitch CEO to have in chat. It is. Which is why, I don't like him. In general, It's not because I have, such a moral opposition to edgy comments online, but it's like, bro, you're running Twitch. You're retarded. It's just, you're dumb. You're not on kick, bro. The equilibrium will be negotiated indefinitely. It will be. It probably will be. And I don't know how that's going to go, how that's going to shake out, to be honest. It might not be that good. With thumbnails on the top right, looks like Ethan Klein masturbating ferociously, beating his fucking cock. I think that would be it.